Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. Content is intended to provide accurate information, however, is not intended as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult a financial, legal, or tax professional for specific information regarding your individual situation. Opinions expressed and provided are for general informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security.
Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's CFP Certified Financial Planner, Tim Stearns, President and founder of TJ Stearns, Inc. And Tim, always a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you for being here, helping to uncomplicate and clarify the financial world. We all have so many questions. Thank you for providing the answers.
Peter, it's my pleasure. Good to be back.
We always enjoy the time, Tim, and you always share important, relevant information on what we need to be doing as workers, as savers, as investors, as we grow assets towards retirement, and then what to do with those assets once we are in retirement to continue on with a comfortable, confident quality of life, knowing that the assets now can provide the income that we need to survive in retirement and to pay those bills, and then to do all the extras that we envision retirement to be about. Tim, we often discuss financial goals on this program. One goal that we discuss specifically is that goal for income. You've talked about how many savers and investors have a plan to save and invest. Some don't, some just kind of wing it, but our outcome is usually better when we do have a plan. But you've also talked about the lack of plans in making the transition, the fact that you don't see a lot of people with an actual written income plan.
It's funny you bring that up, Peter, because I never see that. 95% of the time, it's unbelievable how many people are just kind of winging it in retirement. I met with a couple the other day. She's like, well, I think we have enough. I don't know, and once we're going to do the plan for her, I know that they're going to feel better. The other thing is that you want to make sure that you can't just put the money under a rock, right? So you have to ensure that it's continued growth of assets, generate enough income to last a lifetime for both people, right? Protect savings while simultaneously making withdrawals from those savings. What is the safe withdrawal rate? A lot of people don't know. I met with another couple who talked about how their current advisor had told them that, well, it's easy. You can take out about 4% a year based on, we're going to grow the portfolio at 6%. And I asked him, well, what if the portfolio does what it did last March in 20, where it lost 24%? You're going to be taking out a heck of a lot more than 4%. So to continue with my theme here, you want to minimize taxes in a written plan. You want to cover healthcare expenses. And lastly, if you can, leaving a legacy for heirs and beneficiaries.
All of those things, the goals of a retirement income plan. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've got an investment plan, if you've got a growth plan, if you're building those assets towards retirement, or even if you are already retired, if you don't feel like you have a specific written plan for the next phase in the coming years in your financial life, give a call. Tim Stearns is a certified financial planner and will help you structure, design, and implement that written retirement income plan to achieve or help achieve those goals that he just described. 800-640-2256 is the number to call. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. So Tim, during our working career, there really are specific goals as we are saving and investing. We're trying to build up and accumulate as much wealth and those assets. But there are also specific and very different goals with a written retirement income plan.
Well, I mean, there is truly goals that you want to make sure that you understand where you're going. Nowadays you'd never go somewhere without using Google Maps or what have you. My mom and dad used to use a Rand McNally, going old school there. But basically, I mean, in retirement, you want to know where you're going and plan out how to get there, so you don't end up somewhere you don't want to be, because you don't get do-overs in retirement. And I think a lot of people, that's missed on them. And that's another reason to do a written income plan.
By the time retirement nears, Tim, chances are that savers and investors will have worked long and hard to finally reach that point in their lives where we achieve a level of success in financial freedom, where we no longer have to trade our time for money. We've built up enough money that we get to enjoy the rest of our time. Whether or not we will be able to live comfortably in all of those years of retirement depends on how well we plan and structure that retirement income for lasting financial security. It also depends on the strategies that we choose for the distribution and the cash flow, as you just talked about, not wanting to base this on projections, but wanting to base this on certainty. That's what income allocation is really all about, and why you've made the offer, and why you've discussed many times on this program what income allocation is all about, and then offered that essential retirement planning strategy guidebook, the resource, the book titled Income Allocation.
The book, what I'd like to do is put it out there that for the first 10 callers with over $500,000 worth of assets, give us a call and we'll get the book into your hands, whether it's digitally, in the mail, or, they can come in and see us. We're happy to do it. I think the book really spells out how to do retirement, and that's half the battle, and I always say, you would never hire a builder that doesn't have a blueprint. Well, you don't want to go into, your post 30-year retirement without a plan.
Well, if you would like that book, Income Allocation, just be one of the first 10 callers with over 500,000 saved for yourself for retirement. The strategies described do work best for those who have saved a certain amount, although the time with Tim Stearns, getting questions answered, that's available for anyone. But if you'd like that book, Income Allocation, pick up the phone now, be one of the first 10 callers, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, it may be a little counterintuitive, but if we really think about it, it's got to still be one of the goals. And you mentioned it. Having a written retirement income plan actually allows us more opportunity for continued growth on our assets and our asset allocation, the investment side as well.
It does. I mean, a lot of people think that they have to get an annuity and put everything in there. An annuity can do a lot of work for people without them, having to have risk. When I got into the industry in 1994, the flight to safety was bonds. I remember my mom talking about that when I was younger. And nowadays, the flight to safety is not bonds. Look what happened in 2008. Stocks and bonds went down for the first time in a long time. So that's the type of thing that a fixed index annuity can provide for people. Sometimes annuities get a bad name. That's why I really like the book, defines each type of annuity. Not everyone needs one, and not everyone should have one. But at the end of the day, if they are looking for for growing income that is, basically permanent for their life plus their spouse, that is the way to go. Then, of course, you should have a growth bucket that you can pull down on for the trips that you've wanted to do. If you buy a new car, you have something happen at the house that you need money for, because your bills are being paid by the annuity, and people, go off about annuities, but then I ask them, well, so you're not going to turn on your Social Security, which is exactly an annuity. It's monthly income, it should be guaranteed, knock on wood, with the federal government, but that's the theory. So that's why we do it.
Well, Tim, we don't want to risk losing assets in the market, which would deplete or eliminate our income base. And that is a big risk. That is a big concern of retirees, that market losses could deplete that income base. So while shooting for continued growth on some assets is a goal, a very reasonable goal, maybe it's not the primary goal of assets that we have specifically determined are for income production. And that's why there is a difference between the asset allocation that most of us know and income allocation, which a lot of people don't have that specific written income plan.
Well, we've talked about this before on the show, but asset allocation has failed people 5 times in the last 21 years. And it's been 12 years essentially since a bear market, right? So they usually happen about every 7 years. So I think we're due a little bit. but you have to be very careful about where your money is. I've seen so many portfolios. There were a gentleman came in the other day. He had 80% in stocks, and he's 65 and he has no pension, and that's all he's got. He's done working, and it's a finite amount of money. And I was trying to explain to him he's a net seller of assets. And Peter, I'm pretty excited. We're back in the schools in September, so another reason to give us a call if they want to look at our retirement classes. They're going to be held at Roosevelt in Schaumburg. I think I've been told by even my siblings who are a lot older than me that it's very educational, and they're the first ones to give me a hard time. So obviously it was pretty good.
Well, if you would like to attend one of those upcoming classes, pick up the phone, give a call, find out the schedule, the locations, the times, register for one that is convenient for you. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Learn about the greatest risks in retirement in a group setting where you can have educational information, coursework material, and even think about this through self-study. But Tim does offer the opportunity for continued education and actually putting the lessons to use in your planning through the Protect and Grow plan, the income plan design and implementation. And you can follow up with that process from the classes as well. Before the classes, or if you would like to skip class and go straight to the homework and the planning, you can with certified financial planner Tim Stearns. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. However you would like to get your education and your homework done, ladies and gentlemen. But Tim, income planning and having that written income plan, it actually emphasizes the importance of diversification, because as we move into retirement, it doesn't change that don't put all your eggs in one basket, but we've got to have some eggs in a brand new basket, the one that produces income for us.
Well, to your point, what I've noticed is most of the portfolios I see from other advisors when they bring it in, everything's correlated. When the market goes down, both the stocks and bonds go down, whatever they might have, or they have a little portion in some kind of a gold fund or something. At the end of the day, you have to have something that's completely non-correlated, non-volatile when you're in retirement, and I'm not talking about a CD because they're not paying anything right now. So I would definitely tell you that come in, see us. We have different products. Multi-year guaranteed annuity is a nice thing right now when the bank next door to us is paying hardly anything. So these are different opportunities that are out there.
Never thought we would be excited about 2.25%, Tim, but here we are, and we have been in this low interest rate environment. I've heard people sitting around in cash waiting for interest rates to improve for 10 or more years, for a decade plus, and the rates have not gone up. They've gone the other direction. They've continued to fall, but you have products and solutions and strategies that do offer a more reasonable rate of return and increased rate of return, even on something that is shorter term, like a multi-year guarantee, maybe 3-5 years, where at the end of that time, we get our money back plus the guaranteed interest rate. Maybe not something that is specifically for the income allocation, but certainly something, Tim, that can provide for some diversification and some safety and security with a portion of our assets.
Right. It just gives people another, arrow in their quiver, let's say, that another opportunity to put some money that they might have put some money in a CD that was going to do nothing for them for the next 3 years. This is, or 5 years, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, it's something to put, diversification that's non-correlated to the markets.
Yep. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to find out about how to earn a more reasonable rate, even on your safe money, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. If you are looking for a little bit more growth and opportunity, you've got to have a plan that shows you and defines what is appropriate to take risk with and what you need for income generation. All of these are separate buckets, separate asset classes in your total diversification, where we're not putting all of our eggs in one basket. That's why you've got to have the plan to give you the definition of what you need to dedicate to each one of these. Pick up the phone, give a call, because a certified financial planner, Tim Stearns, Chicagoland's planner, is here and available to help you, making his time available to put that protect and grow plan together with you, for you, and then talk about how to implement the strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. 800-640-2256, the number to call. That's 800-640-2256. And Tim, having that written income plan actually helps us to know what is enough income. And this is kind of a funny concept you've talked about. Some people are worried about taking out too much if they don't have a plan. Others are scared to take out anything at all. Finding that Goldilocks number, just right, not too hot, not too cold, just right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Seems to be what the income plan in writing helps us to find.
Right. And more importantly, you can correlate it with your Social Security. When are you going to turn it on? Well, I don't know. I was thinking about this age and that age. Well, then has your advisor had you do a Social Security optimization report? What is that? I've never heard of that. Well, we can do that for people. It's no obligation. You can leave, thousands of dollars on the table by doing that the wrong way. You might not need to turn it on early, or maybe you do, but at the end of the day, we'll get the answer, get the correct answer.
Tim, you talked about finding a withdrawal rate and defining how much income we can generate. There were some old rules of thumb that most financial projections for retirement are still based off of today that basically have been all but disproven from all of the studies that financial institutions and PhDs and the Wharton School of Business and Morningstar and the American College focused on retirement income planning, and that have been published in numerous magazine articles. They have all but disproven this. And yet Wall Street still seems to continue to use some of these theories when projecting out what people will be able to generate. Isn't that dangerous to rely on projections that have already shown to be problematic?
Right. And those projections no one has seen the market grow at a clip of, let's say, 6 to 8% as with the portfolios I've seen. Every single year, that does not happen. Yes, we had some bull markets the last 12 years. Yeah. But how many people do you know from 2008 who said, oh, if my portfolio ever gets up back above where it was, I'm going to definitely take less risk. And what have people done? They forget that, and they're still doing exactly what they had done before when they got stung really badly in 2008. If you think about it, through 2008 through 10, the portfolios and lost about 50%. You go back to 2000 through 2002, is about another 50%. And that's fine if you're a young person still putting money in that 401k and dollar cost averaging. But if you're in your 60s and you're still have that happen, that's problematic in your retirement, to the point where, how are you paying your bills? And that's the good news about an income allocation plan. We don't have to grow in the growth bucket. We have the portfolio throwing off enough income that pays their bills, so that when the market recovers, that's when they can start to draw from there.
Well, that's why you need a plan, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like that written retirement income allocation plan, pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. If you would like the definitive book on how to set up and structure a plan to avoid many of retirement's biggest risks, Income Allocation is the title of the book. You can find it on Amazon, but Tim Stearns offers to send it out for free to the first 10 callers with over $500,000 saved for retirement. If you would like that book, Income Allocation, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, we've seen a fantastic ride in the market, but if we think back, looking at the Great Recession, after the Great Recession, there was QE, quantitative easing, and there were several different rounds of quantitative easing. Basically, this is where the Fed was buying up all of their own bonds. They were essentially creating money out of thin air and pumping it into the economy. Then we look at COVID, and there have been several rounds of stimulus after COVID to the tune of tens of trillions of dollars. With all of that extra money, you would think that prices in the market would go up. Where there's more money, more people are buying, the Econ 101, supply and demand, prices go up. But if we think back to the decade before that, 2000 through 2000, really 2013, January of 2000, the S&P was at 1469. January of 2013, the S&P was at 1469. It went essentially nowhere. It was flat for 13 years. Now, during that time, two major downturns, 250% drops. So the question is, do we expect the next 10 years to be a repeat of the most recent 10 years, or do we expect to see some volatility? And if you consider that whole time from 2000 through 2021 till today, the average return is 4.58% in the S&P. Now, if we are, even during good times, if we are looking at and counting and relying in our plan on some projected 8%, 9%, 10% rate of return, but over a period of 21 years, Tim, the S&P has actually only averaged 4.58%. Doesn't that put us way, way behind the eight ball and jeopardize our financial security and future?
Well, especially with that couple I met the other day when their advisors telling them 6 to 8% growth. I mean, what if it's flat for the next 10, 15 years? Look what happened with Japan. They just crossed over back into like where they were before their correction in May. It was like a 20-year gap, So that's something you have to look at. That you don't want to be part of that. If your money is stagnating and you're not growing it, how are you paying your bills? And you're definitely withdrawing more than, whatever the amount was that you were told, because if it's only earning, like in your example, 4.85, that's a problem. And again, you're a net seller of assets. We talk about that in our retirement classes all the time. And I don't think people really catch on to what that is sometimes until we educate them. And, the light bulb goes off and they're like, whoa, I have an issue in my portfolio. And then a lot of times right after that, they come and see us.
Well, if you would like to have that conversation with a certified financial planner, if you would like to get the written retirement income plan, pick up the phone now. If you would like a copy of the book, Income Allocation, the Essential Retirement Planning Strategy Guidebook that tells you how to structure your assets to address and reduce risk or eliminate retirement's biggest risks, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, additionally, another large concern on the minds of many retirees and pre-retirees is taxes and what taxes could look like into the future. Another benefit of having a written retirement income plan is that you can specifically address that and minimize taxes.
Right. And no one really knows what taxes are going to do right now. I mean, they're the lowest they've been in forever. So that's something you need to be worried about. I mean, it's been bandied about in Congress that they're going to raise them. I know the president really wants to do that, and tax us more. So that's kind of an issue to me. So, you have to address that. But most people do it reactionary, oh, I didn't realize I owe that, that type of thing. So, we try to tell them, don't be proactive, not reactive. And I think that's what helps with us having a CPA here. We can project out exactly what we think that's going to look like and what the take home is, because it's all about being able to pay your bills.
Yeah. Through the planning that you do, Tim, that's one of the things I appreciate is that you take a look at the financial picture holistically, not just from the investment side, but also from the tax side, and have professional input from both to be strategic, to be effective and efficient where possible.
Exactly. And that's, you have to do it nowadays. The guy that I just had in the other day, they'd only addressed his portfolio. That's all they were interested in. And they're charging him 1% to have mutual funds that, can lose money because there's no stop losses on there. We do stop losses as much as we can, which really helped us because back in March 20, the portfolios went down about 24%, on average, and our portfolio went down 2%. And I will brag about that all day long because we got out because the daily stop loss kicked in. So, those are the things that we tell people, there's no guarantees. I know that, and they know that. But we try to help them get it done that way.
Finally, Tim, a lot of people in the previous generation talked about leaving a legacy. And that's what they had as a goal for their financial savings, what they have accumulated, because their companies, their pensions were their source of income. That is what they were living off of. And the extra savings was really to be left behind or in case of emergency. Today, more often than not, people are worried about just making their money last. But if we have that written retirement income plan, even if our concern is, do we have enough? If we've got the written retirement income plan, we dramatically increase the likelihood that we not only have enough to last, but also leave something behind.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing. But I mean, I always tell people that they make sure that you enjoy your retirement, and not just at the sake of leaving something to your kids. If you're able to do it, there's some really great ways to do it. Life insurance would be one, tax-free, because, a lot of people aren't familiar with the Secure Act, and that really screwed up a lot of planning. You can't do a stretch IRA anymore. And people, what are you talking about? What's the stretch IRA? And I educate them in our classes or what have you in the office. And, they're, I didn't think about that. So, there's a thing that we've been helping some of our clients with called RMD Rescue, Required Minimum Distribution Rescue, and looking at life insurance to fund a tax-free benefit to their heirs. And more importantly, it's got long-term care components to it. So, and it grows tax-free and it's tax defer when it comes out.
Well, when coaches put together a game plan, they don't just plan out the first half of the game, or when architects or builders put the blueprint of a building together, they don't just talk about the walls and ceiling. They also talk about the foundation that those things will be set upon. We need to have the plan for both halves of the game. We need to have the plan for that foundation. And that's what the income allocation is for your retirement, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to get that written retirement income plan, if you'd like the book that describes and defines how to structure the income plan, or if you'd like to attend the classes, any of those three opportunities that Tim Stearns, Chicagoland's CFP, is making available to you, pick up the phone, give a call now, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. So again, if you'd like the Protect and Grow plan, your written retirement income plan, give a call. If you would like the book, Income Allocation, or to attend the Retire Right classes, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And Tim, we always appreciate your time and insight here on the program.
Peter, thanks for having me.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program on 890 WLS every Sunday at 11 a.m. and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.